So, I was thinking this week, we always start with a little kind of theme, sometimes related to the class, Lindsay. So, I was thinking at the beginning of the week, so maybe we all started the week a bit kind of like, oh, here we go, lockdown again. And then, blow me, we get the amazing news from Pfizer about potential vaccine, and we're all like, yay! And then we see the headlines of, oh, the logistics of it, and we're all like, oh, all over again. And I found this lovely quote. I'd seen it a couple of days ago, and I thought, gosh, if there was ever a time to use it, it's now. So it's by a fellow yoga teacher, and she wrote, "Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again, and in between the amazing and the awful, it's ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing. Hold on through the awful and relax and exhale during the ordinary. That's just living. Heartbreaking, soul healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life. And it's all breathtakingly beautiful." So true, isn't it? The ups and the downs at the moment seem kind of more pronounced than ever. So let's see if we can use our yoga today to find a little bit of equanimity, a little bit of balance in our life. So we're going to start by lying ourselves down today. Have your little strap somewhere to hand, somewhere you can grab it nice and easily. And then come to lie yourself down on your back and bring your knees with you. So I'm just going to check. I think someone's trying to get in there. So just bring your knees in towards your chest. Lovely. And I'll share that with everyone afterwards. Some of you want those words. I'll make sure you get all of those. So we're lying on our backs. We've got our knees in towards our chest. And let's start to massage away any tension from the back with some gentle rocks or maybe a little circle through the knees. And we're going to have a really good old stretch out today. So it's mostly floor-based. I don't think we're going to come up to stand at all, but that doesn't mean we're not going to feel beautifully stretched and worked by the end of it. So when you're ready, let's just allow the feet to drop down to your mat. So we'll keep the knees bent this morning, offering the back a little bit of support so you can keep your knees apart, or you can just walk your feet a little bit wider towards the outside of your mat so your knees can just sway to prop each other up. And allow the arms to relax in whatever position feels comfortable this morning. You might just want to slide your shoulder blades a little bit closer towards each other and down your back. Maybe pick up your head and bring your chin ever so slightly down towards your chest. And again, if you've got that horrible sensation of your chin being thrown up towards the ceiling there, maybe you just lift the back of your head by popping a little blanket or a rolled up cushion, something underneath it just to bring the back of the head in line with the rest of your spine. Here we are again. Happy to be here, happy to be sharing a practice this morning. So as we take a moment just at the beginning of our practice to arrive on our mat. Good morning, Linda. Come on in and join us. We're just lying on our backs with our feet on the floor, knees might knock together. Take a moment to get nice and comfortable, maybe allowing your eyes to close. Arms might be just gently resting alongside you. You might have your hands on your belly. Just settle here now, softening your body, beginning to sense its weight, yielding into the floor beneath you there. Breathing in this present moment. And breathing out anything you don't need this morning, events that might have happened in the run-up to class, be they awful, amazing, or simply ordinary and mundane. Rooting yourself with your breath in the here and now. And just beginning to notice your breath. How does your breath feel this morning? A great indicator of our mental state, our physical state, the barometer of our breath. So is your breath short, long, and fluid or jerky this morning? Just let it be for a moment and give yourself a little bit of space and time just to listen to the breath. And as you take a moment to listen to your breath, perhaps it naturally just begins to soften and deepen as it begins to find its own rhythm. Enjoying that natural flow of your breath, befriending your breath this morning. And allowing yourself just at the start of the practice for a few moments to simply be immersed in your breathing. And just using this very simple, almost breath-based meditation at the beginning of a class to root us very firmly in the here and the now. Breathing into this present moment, coming together to share a practice this morning. And really allowing that rhythm of your breath to set the pace of your practice this morning. Like I say, a nice stretch-based practice today. So we should feel beautifully elongated and open as we explore some of those hidden spaces in the body where we can, if we're not careful, hang on to tension. So let's start when you're ready, just by gently stretching out the legs one at a time. And then we'll bring the arms up and over, so we'll find ourselves in a delicious full body stretch this morning. If your upper arms don't want to come close to the sides of your head, then just widen them in a nice wide V, like a little starfish there. And let's take a moment to take a couple of breaths there. You might want a little wiggle on your mat, stretching into one side of the body, then the other side. Oh, back might be arching a little bit as you really breathe into full expanse of your very being there. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the arms up and over and give your right knee a little squeeze in towards your chest. So right knee comes into the chest. You can hold in front or behind the knee. Just soften your shoulders, relax your face. And as you squeeze that knee in towards your chest, can you begin to stretch out through your left heel? So the left heel is pressing slightly down. So we're getting a lovely lateral stretch across the body there. Nice one to open up some space in the lower back. Great one if you spend a lot of time sitting down at a desk all day. And then let's find that full body stretch again, reaching the arms back, stretching out. You can point the toes, you can flex the feet, you can have a little wiggle. Ooh, beautiful. And then we'll bring the left knee in towards your chest now. Arms come up and over, knee comes to chest. And again, just make sure that the chin hasn't shot up towards the ceiling, that you're stretching that right heel away from you. Again, getting that lovely lateral stretch across your lower back. Breathing into that space. We're going to work with our breath now, alternating legs. So as you inhale, we open up into that full body stretch, both arms, both legs extended. And as you exhale, bring one knee in towards your chest. So I'm bringing my right knee in. Lovely. And when you're ready to breathe in, back into that full body stretch, arms and legs open and expand. And then you squeeze the other knee in as you exhale. So just working with your breath now, finding that lovely expansive opening as you inhale. Little squeeze, bringing that knee in towards your chest as you exhale. Lovely. So a really simple but effective stretch to get us going this morning. We'll do a few more. And if you want to start being a little bit more energetic, as you exhale, you can lift head and shoulders and bring your nose towards your knee a little kiss. And then release all the way back down into that full body stretch. So if you want to lift head and shoulders, kissing your knee, giving a little bit of love. And release. Let's do one more with the right leg and one more with the left leg. Obviously, if you don't want to lift your head and your shoulders, you just keep it, just confining that movement to your knee, coming in. Woo, beautiful full body stretch. Let's all meet there, stretching the arms back, pointing the toes, take a nice inhale. And this time as you exhale, let's bring both knees in towards your chest. Lovely. And again, you can stay there just with the knees squeezed down or slide the shoulders away from the ears, lifting up your head, lifting up your shoulders, coming into a little ball. So we're stretching out both the base of the spine and the neck. Beautiful. Keep the knees to the chest, lower the head, lower the shoulders. And with one hand on each knee, let's stir the knees round in a little circle there. So you're just tracing a path around the back of the pelvis there. So you might find there's a little bit of arching and rounding through the lower part of the spine there. Again, a great one to release if you're sitting down a lot. And then take them around the opposite way. And then we'll come into some lovely stretches. Here we go. So knees to chest, both hands to your right knee. Let your left foot come to the floor, knee pointing up towards the ceiling. And we'll just start to open and close that right knee. So taking it out to the right and then back to center. So you might just be using one hand or both hands. Choice is yours. Little movements there. Trying to keep the other knee, the left knee, pointing up towards the ceiling. So we just work into the hip a little bit. And the next time the knee comes in towards the chest, let's hold on around the back of the leg and find that first extension through the right leg, sending it up towards the ceiling. Just add a little twirl through the foot. So begin to circle off through the ankle. Just make sure that the upper back stays relaxed onto the floor. And then twirl the foot round the opposite way, spreading the toes. Let's get moving this morning. Waking up the joints. And then pushing the heel up towards the ceiling, pulling the toes towards your face. Just make sure that leg isn't shaking. And if it is, just back off, pop a little bend in the knee. Those of you who again want a little bit more, we can slide the hands up the leg, lifting your head, lifting your shoulders, and maybe extend the opposite leg. You might rest the heel on the floor, or you can just hover that left heel off the floor just by a few inches. Beautiful. And then we'll all lower that left leg. Lower the head, lower the shoulders, and bring that right knee in towards your chest. So we've got the left leg extended, right knee hugged in towards the chest. So we're going to come into a half happy baby pose there. So what we're going to do is just either bring your, well, we'll start with this one actually, bring your right knee out to the right. Just bring that right knee out to the right, almost down towards your armpit there. Lovely. So we can stay there this morning, or you can hold on just underneath the thigh there, so just around the back of the knee, and you can extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So you're keeping the knee bent, but you're just taking the heel up towards the ceiling, just holding on around the back of the thigh. Or you can lift your head, lift your shoulders, and using that right hand to take hold around the outside or inside of your right foot. Lower the head, lower the shoulders, and guide that right knee down towards the armpit. So lots of choices. Knee bent, hugging the knee out to the right, holding on just around the back of the thigh, sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Or last variation, holding on around the foot and bringing that knee down. Breathe into that hip. So being mindful, any hip issues today, you might want to stay with that first option, just bringing that knee gently out towards the right there. Breathing into that stretch. Gorgeous. And slowly, slowly, let's all bend the knee if you've got the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Coming back to that full body stretch. Reaching out both arms, balancing things out before we do that with the left leg. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, both knees in towards your chest. Giving the knees a squeeze. Option to lift the head, lift the shoulders, coming into that little ball. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. Right foot to floor this time. Knee points up towards the ceiling. And we'll start to open and close the left knee. So try and keep that right knee nice and stable there. We're just gently rocking, like little gates, hinging open and then closing. Beautiful. And then when your knee comes in towards your chest, let's find the space in the back of the leg. Up it goes, holding on just around the back of the thigh. As you twirl the foot, try and keep the back of that left hip on the floor, so you've not lifted your bottom off the floor there. So there's a nice heaviness through the lower back. And then twirl the foot round the opposite way. Twirly, twirly, lovely. And then we'll push the heel up towards the ceiling, pulling the toes towards your face. We might want to stay there, or we slide the hands up the leg, avoid the knee joint, lifting your head, lifting your shoulders, maybe extending the right leg, so you can keep the heel on the floor this morning, or you can Just lift the leg, and all 10 toes are strong there, pulling towards the face. Lovely. Lower that right leg, lower the head, lower the shoulders, and give that left knee a little squeeze again. So ready for our half happy baby. So we'll stay with that first variation to start with, guiding that left knee down towards your left armpit. Just make sure the right foot hasn't rolled out to the side, so keep pressing the heel gently into the floor, toes up towards the ceiling. Option to stay there, or you can hold on around the back of the thigh and just take the sole of that left leg up towards the ceiling there. So you're just taking the foot up towards the ceiling. Or you can lift head and shoulders, hand to the inside or outside of the left foot, lower the head, lower the shoulders, and we try and bring that left knee down towards your armpit there. So your shin is perpendicular to the floor. That's a nice word on a Wednesday morning. A perpendicular shin, I'll have you know. So we're pressing that right heel down. So we're getting a nice stretch into our hip this morning. Beautiful. And then let's release that foot. Bring the left knee and the right knee in towards your chest. Have a little rock, little massage there, and then we'll come into our band stretches. Now we've had a little warm up, a little exploratory stretch. So we'll bring the left foot to the floor, right knee stays in towards the chest. Then we're going to find our band. So that's picking up your band or your dressing gown belt, whatever you've got to hand. We're going to loop it around the ball of the foot. Lower the head, lower the shoulders if you've had to pick them up to find your foot. And we'll take the leg up towards the ceiling. So have a little look if you're stuck there. Try to avoid wrapping the band around the hand because you'll just increase tension, which will travel down into your shoulders and your face. So if your band is long enough, just allow your hands to slide down so you can rest your elbows on the floor there. A band in each hand there. Lovely. Let's just get ourselves sorted there. Try not to lift the back of your right hip from the floor. So settle into that sense of heaviness as you stretch the heel up towards the ceiling. Lovely. I'm going to hold the band just in my right hand now and bring the left hand to the top of my left hip. And just start again to open and close the leg, just as we did before with a bent knee. Now with a straight leg. Leg comes out to the right, then a little bit across the body, but we're keeping the move quite small. And helping that sense of anchoring with your left hand at the top of the hip. So we're not wobbling across the low back there. Lovely. And then we'll come to center and we'll start to draw little circles now, or even big circles. So keeping the legs straight. You can use both hands here, or I'm just going to use my right hand to circle the leg. So you're drawing little circles on the ceiling with the foot. So it might be the size of a dinner plate. Might be a little bit bigger. So we'll all be very different depending on how the hip feels this morning. And then whatever direction you're circling, let's go around the opposite way. Ooh, that feels interesting when you take the leg around the opposite way, doesn't it? So make sure you're not wobbling across the low back. So really try and keep yourself nice and stable there. So we're bringing the movement into the hip. Beautiful. And then let's come all the way back through center, bringing the band into your left hand now. Right arm just drops to the floor alongside you, and we'll guide the right leg across the body. So we're coming over to the left. So this time the back of the hip's going to lift a little bit. That right buttock will lift a bit. Lovely. Let's come back to center. Changing hands, so holding in the right hand as you drop the leg over to the right. You might bring your elbow to the floor for a little bit of support. And you might want to allow your left knee just to hinge open, so you're on the outside of the left foot. If you want a little bit more, stretch that right heel away from you. Ooh, a little firing up through the inner thighs this morning. Lovely, let's come back to center. Sole of that left foot to the floor, right leg up towards the ceiling. Now, option as we come back over to the left, band in the left hand, you can stretch your left leg out on the floor nice and long and come into a little twist. As you take that right leg across the body, so option to keep the left foot on the floor, the knee pointing up towards the ceiling. If you're with me, we're in a deeper stretch with the left leg extended. Ooh, opening up some space there wherever you are. Breathe into that hip. Let's come all the way back up to center, band in the right hand. Now again, you can rebend the knee, foot to floor on the left leg, or keep the leg extended as you come into that inner thigh stretch, taking the right leg out to the right. And this time again, press the left heel down, stretch the toes towards your face and really anchor yourself down. It's taken me a long time to get any kind of mobility here, so don't be alarmed if you're not moving too far into that stretch there. Lovely. Let's come all the way back in through center. Slide that left heel back in towards you so the knee's pointing up towards the ceiling. And then release the right foot. So you might just want to stretch it out for a minute. And then we'll end up with both feet on the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we'll try that all on the left leg. So left knee to chest. You might need to lift your head and your shoulders as you loop the band around the foot. And then slide the hand down the band. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. I can rest my elbows on the floor there because my band is long enough. So just have a little play there, but avoid, again, wrapping the band around your hand. Drop the weight into the back of the left hip and feel a nice sense of space in the back of that left leg. Any shape, just pop a little bend in the knee. Just be kind to that hamstring. I'm going to bring the band into my left hand this time, right hand to the top of the hip. And we'll start that little sway from side to side. So keep it nice and small, especially if there's any tightness in the low back or the hip. Just really using these band supported stretches to really listen to the body. Using the band as something to help rather than to beat yourself up with. We'll come back to center and we'll start that little circling now. So you can hold on to the band with both hands. You can just keep one hand. And this side for me certainly feels stiffer. So you might notice, again, those kind of imbalances in the body, perfectly normal. They all tend to be one-sided. And then we'll take them round the opposite way. So yeah, this side certainly doesn't seem to be moving quite so fluidly as my right side, which kind of makes sense. I'm right-handed, so I think I do everything a bit more right dominant. Lovely. And then we'll come all the way back up into the center. Band into the right hand this time. Left arm just relaxes alongside you as you carry the leg over to the right. So you're taking the leg just across the body. Back of that left hip's going to lift from the floor a little bit. And then we'll come back to center. Band into your left hand. And we'll allow the leg to swing open out to the left, maybe rolling to the outside edge of that right knee. Right foot there. So you've got a little inner thigh stretch going on. And if you want a little bit more, stretch the heel away from you on that left leg. Woo! Inner thighs, good morning. Come all the way back to center. Option to stretch the right leg out as you bring the left leg once more over the body. So band in the right hand. So if you've got that right leg extended, you're going to roll, that foot's going to kind of roll open. So you're on the outer edge of the leg there. But then as you come all the way back through center, we press the right heel into the floor as you bring the band into your left hand and open the leg out to the left for the last time. So the temptation is we lift that right buttock from the floor. So really anchor yourself down. And if it's a little bit too much with the leg straight, just bring your right foot to the floor and point the knee up towards the ceiling. Ooh, good old stretch out. That feels better already. Let's come all the way back up to center. Slide that right heel back in towards you, foot to floor, and then bring that left foot to the floor. Beautiful. Band to one side. Bring the knees in towards your chest one last time, hooking the ankles, widening your knees, and have a little circle out through the legs. I'm going to come up to seated in a minute, guys. Oh, that feels better already, doesn't it? So we're going to come up to seated, so you can just roll to one side or hold on around the backs of the legs and have a little whoop, roll up through the spine. I've suddenly realised why I'm warm, and that's because I've got two t-shirts on. So I'm going to get rid of one before I melt. Now I'm going to sit cross-legged this morning, but it really doesn't matter what configuration your legs are in, whether you need to prop yourself up on a cushion, just get nice and comfortable there. Fingertips to the floor in front of you. And as you inhale, let's reach the arms up. And as you exhale, flex the wrists and push the arms out to the side. Lovely, a little bit of strength through the arms. Twice more, so reaching the arms forwards and up as you breathe in, stretch up nice and tall, and then stretch the arms out to the side. So strong through the arms there. Last time, all the way up. So push the arms out. Lovely one to open up through the wrists as well. This time we'll reach the arms up and then come into a little side stretch. So right hand to the floor, left arm all the way up and over. And you can look up towards the ceiling this morning, pulling that top thumb back a little ways. Really keeping the weight heavy through both hips. Push off through the right hand as you reach up, finding that balance, and then over to the left. Oh, lovely one to stretch out through the sides of the body. Let's add the breath this morning. So inhale to reach up, and exhale, let's take that little tick-tock from side to side. So as you move with your breath, so you might all be moving, all moving in beautiful synchronicity there. But if you kind of feel that you're rocking through your pelvis, maybe just slow the movements down a little bit. So you should feel nice and stable through the lower body. So we're just stretching out through the side body. Let's do one more coming over to the right and one more coming over to the left. Beautiful. And then we'll reach all the way up through center. Keep reaching up towards the ceiling as you just turn your body round to the right. And then bring one hand behind you, one hand in front of you. So we're coming into a little twist. So that left hand might be on your shin, might be on the floor, depending on the length of the arms, the openness through the shoulder. Feel again that lovely rotation through the spine, sitting up nice and tall. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back through center, reaching up nice and tall, lengthen, lengthen. Keep the arms up as we take that little twist to the left. And then let the arms fall, right hand in front, left hand behind you. Just making sure that that hand behind you isn't something that you're leaning into. It's keeping you propped forwards on your sit bones there. Beautiful. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Now, this was a lovely one I discovered yesterday, so I'll invite you to join me. We're going to bring the right hand behind the head, draw the elbow back, and then the back of the left hand, you slide around to your lower back. So imagine you want to pull your elbows in opposite directions, and we take a little side bend over to the left, keeping the top elbow pointing up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And then we stretch both arms out in between sides, and then other hand, so left hand behind the head, back of the right hand slides to the low back. Draw the elbows apart, and then we come over to the right. And again, make sure you're not lifting your sit bones. Let's add the breath. Inhale, reach the arms out. Exhaling, right hand behind head as we come over to the left. Lovely. Inhale. So you're going to use a little bit of brain power as well with the arms this morning. We're working everything, body and brain. Inhale. And again, as you just do one more each way, you might notice that one side, certainly I can feel that one side feels far more open to that stretch. This is my tight side. Woo! Let's reach the arms out nice and wide now. Flipping the palms up towards the ceiling. And try and tilt the little finger edge of your hand up towards the ceiling. Lift up through the chest, maybe lift the chin. Lifting up the heart this morning. Gorgeous. And then we'll find our way over onto all fours. So you might just want to place your hands down and roll over your knees, or you can uncross everything. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Now I'm going to stretch out my feet too. So I'm going to tuck my toes under this morning, but choice is yours. Find that lovely tabletop position through the spine, heart and head coming forwards. And then we'll dip the belly, lift the tailbone up, allow the chest to pull forwards in our cow pose. Take an inhale. Angry cat as you exhale, keeping your shoulders above your wrists, round the back. Roll to the rhythm of your breath now. Inhaling, heart comes forward. So I can press into the balls of my feet here, just waking things up. But you might have your feet flat, that's okay. Ooh, and a lot of us Gravity-wise, our jogs, we kind of spend a lot of time like this, kind of rounded through the back. So it's a lovely one to add that sense of balance as we open and stretch through the front of the body in that cow pose. So we've got our cat pose when we round the back and open up through the heart. Let's do one more. It's such a simple one to do, but such an effective stretch. Beautiful, lovely. So we're going to flatten the feet. I'm going to take your right arm forwards little ways, coming onto your fingertips. I'm going to bend my left arm, forearm to the floor. Sink your hips back towards your heels. You can bring your forehead down to rest on the back of that left arm there. You might want to make a fist with the left hand, so your head is resting on something. And really plug those right fingertips forwards and down. You're getting a really nice stretch into the right side of the body. Lovely lateral stretch there. So take a couple of breaths there, hips drawing back, right arm extended, head resting just on that left forearm. Lovely. And then sliding that right hand back. So we'll find our way back onto all fours, hands under shoulders. Take an inhale, lift head and heart, dip the belly. Exhaling to round. And then we'll come into that half puppy pose. So we take the left arm forwards, coming onto your fingertips, just bending that right arm down so the forearm is parallel to the top of the mat. Hips sink back, forehead just resting on your forearm there. And again, plug the left arm, left fingertips forwards and down, and breathe all the way from your fingertips to your armpit, all the way down to the hip there. Lovely stretch. Gorgeous. And then slowly finding your way back onto all fours. We'll tuck the toes under this morning. And we'll find a downward dog. So inhaling, lift the head, lift the heart. And this time as you exhale, let's push the hips up and back into a downward dog. If you don't want to come into a downward dog, stay on all fours. Stretch one leg back. Have a little rock back and forwards. And then change legs. If you're in your downward dog, let's start that little pedal out through the feet, bending one knee and then the other, and really get the sense of stretching the heels away from you, even if they don't touch the floor. Lovely one to open up through the fascia of the feet, the backs of the legs, give the head a little shake, making sure you're not holding tension in the upper body as we warm up through the lower body there in that lovely downward dog. Beautiful. And then we'll bring our feet together. So big toes and ankles touch in that downward dog. See if you can find a little bit more height through the hips. And then we'll take the right leg up as you inhaling. Taking that right leg up, keeping the weight even through the hands. And as you exhale, lower the foot to the floor. Big toes and ankles touching. Other side. Inhaling, left leg extends. Stretch it all the way up. And exhale to lower. Let's try one more. So as you lift the right leg, try not to transfer the weight into that left hand. So you're keeping the weight relatively even through the hands. Just once more with the left leg. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the feet together. Bend your knees, look forwards. And then we'll spring or step your right foot forwards inside of the right hand and drop the back knee. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, let's sweep the arms forwards and down. Lovely. Twice more. So push the floor away. Open up, stretch up as you inhale. Lovely crescent lunge and exhale. Just allow the body to reach forwards. One more. Lovely. Again, nothing complicated. All designed to find some space. Let's find that lunge now. So press the floor away, reach the arms up, and then we'll split the arms. So left hand comes down inside of that foot, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So we're in a lovely twist. Now, some of us with that right arm, you might be able to reach it back a little ways. So almost taking a little lean back. Keep pressing into that left hand. Option to lift the back knee. So making sure that you've not popped that right hip out to the right. Draw the hips back as you find that lovely stretch through the chest. Beautiful. Lower the back knee. And we'll bring both hands to the inside of your front foot. Squeeze that right knee against your upper arm, and this time it's the left arm that lifts. So it's a great hip stretch, a little bit of balance there as well. There's a little bit of wibble wobble going on. Lovely. Lower the arms, so both hands now to the inside of your front foot. Flatten the back foot, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's slide the hips back. So on a little diagonal, both hands to the inside of the foot. You might need to walk your hands back a little ways towards you. You can keep a bend in the knee and the foot to the floor, or slide that heel away from you and pull the toes towards your face. So that right leg is on a slight diagonal. So we're getting into a slightly different part of the hamstring, which is made up of 3 muscles there. Lovely. Let's bend the knee and then slide our way back onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, let's come into that downward facing dog. Again, that little pedal out through the feet. You can stay on all fours, you can take a child pose. I'm just going to turn around so I'm on the same leg as you. Lovely. And then once more, let's bring the feet together, big toes and ankles just brush. Inhaling, right leg lifting. You can turn the toes slightly out to the right for a little hip opener. And as you exhale, lower the foot to the floor. Other side. So as you lift the left leg, try not to transfer the weight into that right hand. Shall we do one more, guys? Yeah, let's do one more, guys. So right leg lifting as you inhale, hips nice and high. Weight even through the hands. Smooth ascent of that leg as you inhale, left leg lifting now. Smooth descent as you exhale. Lovely, let's bend the knees, take the gaze forwards, step, spring or help, left foot forwards this time. If it gets a bit stuck, just give it a helping hand there. Ready for that lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms lift, chest opens. Exhale, float the arms down. Lovely. So twice more, push into that left foot, so you're pushing the floor away. Oh, lovely. Opening up some space through the sides of the body. Last time, all the way up, all the way down, and then we'll find that lovely crescent lunge. So some of you might have your shoulders directly above the hips. Some of you might be able to open up through the heart, bring into a little tiny back bend, reaching the arms back. And then we'll split the arms. So this time the right hand comes to the floor inside of the foot. Left arm lifts up. And again, some of you might be able to take that arm back just behind the shoulder. And some of you might be able to lift the back knee. Keep tucking that left hip in and back. You can keep the back knee down if you want. Beautiful. Lower the back knee. Hands come to the inside of the front foot. Hug your left knee into your upper arm. So this time we take that little twist to the right. Ooh, right arm lifts. Might not go very far, might feel wibbly wobbly. And then both hands come down inside of the foot. Take an inhale, flatten the back foot. As you exhale, let's slide the hips back. You might need to walk your hands back a little way. Remember, you can keep your knee bent, or sliding that left heel slightly out on the diagonal. So we're not completely square to the mat as we normally would when we do this little hamstring stretch. It's just a different way of finding that stretch there. Lovely. And then we'll bend the knee, plant the foot. We'll find our way back onto all fours. Big toes pointing together this time, widening your knees, sliding hips to heels and taking your arms forwards in a nice wide-kneed child pose. Maybe have a little wobble across your hips there, nestling them carefully back towards your heels. Arms reaching forward, so nice long side body there. Let's just take a breath or two there, really breathing into the full expanse of your back and your side body. And then we're going to add a little twist, so quite happily stay here if you're enjoying that restful child pose, stay there. Or we're going to feed your left arm underneath your right arm. Back of the hand slides off the mat, coming into a little thread needle. So you're looking underneath your right armpit. You're going to try and stretch or open that top armpit towards the ceiling a little ways. So you're taking a little shift of the weight into that left shoulder. Stretching up through the upper back. If that's not for you this morning, keep both arms stretched out in front of you in a child pose. And then we'll change arms. So left arm stays reaching forwards, sliding the right arm underneath the left this time. It's coming onto the side of the head there. Maybe a little lift of that top armpit, so you're shifting away ever so slightly into that right shoulder. Ooh, nice stretch out for the upper back this morning. Lovely. And then we'll feed both arms out in front of you. Take one last beautiful breath in that lovely open and expansive child pose there. And then we'll walk the hands back towards you, lifting the chest. Just point both knees forwards. I'll come and face you now. And then we'll lift up. So we're coming into standing kneeling. You can pad up onto your knees if you feel a little bit uncomfortable there. I'm going to take your right foot out to the side. So toes pointing away from you. And the foot is just slightly forwards of your left knee for a little bit of balance and support there. So it's almost like a warrior two on the floor. So right elbow to thigh. Left arm, let's reach it all the way up and over. Lovely side stretch there. Beautiful. And then we'll reverse the arms. So we'll bring the left arm reaching towards the floor. Keep squeezing that right knee out towards the little toe as you take that top arm overhead. Lovely. And then we'll come back, right forearm to thigh, top arm up and over. And then this left hand, once more back of the left hand, going to bring around to your low back, roll that shoulder open. And if it's comfortable on your neck, take your gaze towards your knee. So it's a lovely one to stretch out through the neck. Keep squeezing that left shoulder very gently back. So you should feel a nice stretch out through the neck there. Lovely. Let's slowly bring the head back to center. We're going to take the arms out level with the shoulders. And this time we're going to stretch the right leg out. So we're coming into our gate pose. Toes facing forwards. Press the hips forwards. Take an inhale. Right arm down, left arm up and over as we exhale. If that's too much, come back to that original version that we just did with the foot on the floor. Lovely. Inhale through center. And this time as you exhale, let's see if we can find the floor with that left hand just alongside the knee. If that doesn't work for you, just keep reaching the arms opposite, reaching toward the floor. If you found the floor, brilliant. Let's lengthen that right arm alongside the ear. And some of you might be able to gently press your hips forwards and maybe lift that right leg. Oh, flexing the foot. So heel and fingertips stretched out in opposite directions. Gorgeous. Little bit of momentum now to bring you all the way back up through center. That's it, lovely. Going to take a twist to the right, so turning towards the right. Left hand comes down to the floor. And then shift your weight forward. So bring that left shoulder above your wrist and right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So the temptation is here that we're kind of folded in on ourselves. So think about sending the crown of the head forwards. So you've got that lovely space to twist and rotate into. Gorgeous. Let's bring both hands down. Bring both knees back in line with your hips. And then we'll try that on the other side. So lifting up, this time left foot comes to the floor. Again, foot is turned out and slightly forwards of that supporting knee, just for a little bit of balance. That's it, get yourself nice and comfy. It's a nice one to open up through the hips. Left forearm to thigh. So this time, right arm stretches up and over. Oh, and it's a lovely one to stretch up through the top of that hip, as well as freeing up some space in between the ribs there. Lovely. Let's reverse that, shall we? So this time, the right fingertips. Some of you with really long arms might find the floor. I'm kind of nearly there. Just make sure that that front knee hasn't rolled in. Keep squeezing it out to the side. Lovely. Should we try that again with that lovely neck stretch? So forearm to thigh, top arm up or over. So this time we bring the back of the right hand around the low back, just as we did at the beginning. You see, sometimes there's method to my madness. We'll roll the shoulder back and take your gaze towards the knee. So shoulder rolling back. And again, you might find that one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. So we're just trying to stretch out that big ropey muscle that runs down the side of the neck. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, we'll lift ourselves back up to center, extend out through the arms, sliding that left leg out now so the toes are facing forwards, hips press forwards, take an inhale. And as you exhale, right arm comes all the way up and over. Lovely. Sometimes the bottom tends to swing back there, so make sure the hips stay pushed forwards. Inhale through center. And as you exhale, can the right hand find the floor? If not, just fingertips reaching down there. But if you found the floor, lovely. Extending that top arm alongside the ear. And you might be able to shift the weight into that right hand and lift the top leg. Top leg, you won't be able to lift the bottom leg as well, although some of you might maybe. Could be an interesting pose. A little bit of momentum now to bring yourself back up through center. Keep the arms out nice and wide as we turn to the left. And then the right hand comes to the floor. Let me come slightly out in the diagonal there. So you want that hand quite far forward so you can then shift your weight forward. So right shoulder is right over the wrist. Think about taking the chest and the crown of the head forwards and extending that left arm up towards the ceiling. So you really want to get that sense of length through the spine, and then we can get that delicious stretch. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the hands down, bring the knees back in line with the hips. This time we'll drop the bottom back onto your heels, swish your legs out in front of you, and give them a little bit of a shake. Beautiful. So we'll bring our right heel in towards our groin. So we've just got the left leg extended. And if that knee feels a little bit uncomfortable, again, this is when you can prop a little pillow or a cushion underneath that right knee so the thigh can relax. Let's take a nice inhale as you lengthen the arms one last time. Try and keep that length as you exhale, exhale all the way down. Oh, lovely. Some of you might be able to bring your hands maybe around that left foot. Some of you, your chest might be a little bit higher. So we'll all find a very different place there to allow the body to yield forwards. Allow the exhale to just soften you into whatever expression of forward fold works for you. Somewhere where you can relax that right knee down towards the floor, where your chest is more or less square over that extended leg. And there's no shaking in that left leg. So if the leg starts to shake, back off, pop a little bend in the knee. Lovely. And slowly, slowly, let's lift the chest. And we're going to slide that left leg back in towards you so the knee is bent. And this right foot, I'm just going to feed underneath my left thigh just for a little bit of stability. And this is when you'll need your bands again. So having got you there, you'll probably find your band is on the other side of the room. So when you found your band, we're going to loop the band around the ball of the left foot. You might need to lean back a little bit to bring that left knee towards your chest. So let me sit a little sideways on there. Lovely. So then if you've leant back, can you bring your spine upright and your chest forwards? And then as you inhale, let's extend that left leg. Leg might not straighten. And as you exhale, we'll bend the knee. We'll do that twice more. So keep lifting up through the chest, keep long through the spine. So it's better to have the knee bent and a long spine and be sort of rounded here. So last time, leg extends, beautiful. And then we'll bend the knee. So this time we'll extend that leg all the way out in front of you. Beautiful. Bringing the band into your right hand, left hand, sorry, do beg your pardon, left hand. You're going to take that leg out to the left. So keep sitting nice and tall. You might be able to reach the right arm out to the side. Lovely. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back through center. Changing hands. So band now in your right hand as we take the leg across the body. Other arm reaches out. Oh, that's a stretch for the outer thigh, isn't it? Some of you might be able to add a little twist, reaching the left arm back. Have you slumped and you're still sitting up nice and tall? Can you feel that stretch? The correct answer is yes, 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 Helen. Come all the way back through center. Let's lower the leg. Or unhook your foot and give the legs a little shake. I do apologise for the trains. They're doing some work on the railway line, so apologise for any disturbances today. So let's try that on the other side. So left heel slides in towards your groin. And again, you can pad up underneath your thigh so that knee can relax. Making sure that you're squaring up over that right leg this time. Arms lift, take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, try not to veer your chest over to the right or the left. So you're coming down squarely over the right leg. Take a moment to get yourself nice and comfy there. Popping a bend in the knee if you need to. Easy with the breath. And again, one side might feel very different. This side again just feels a little bit stiffer. Anyone been waking up with Joe Wicks this week? I have. 6 o'clock on Monday, 6 o'clock today. I was there, jumping around. That's probably why this leg is stiff. Lovely. Let's roll our way back up. So you're going to bend the right knee, just again, so you can feed the left leg just underneath that little waist, just for stability. And then we'll find our band. Band comes around the ball of the foot. So again, let me turn sideways on. So you might have to lean back to begin with to bring that knee towards your chest. But then can you sit forwards and upright? Lovely. So you can see yourself in your camera. Just want to lift up through the chest. And then as we inhale, we'll extend that right leg up. And then as you exhale, bend the knee. So I'm looking at my camera, trying desperately hard to keep my spine lovely and tall as I inhale. Woo! And exhale. So it really does require a lot of work through those muscles in the back body. Just once more, inhale. And exhale. Let me turn back on. As we extend that leg up towards the ceiling, sitting right on top of your sit bones, band in your right hand, and we'll take the leg out to the right. So some of you might have the knee bent. Some of you might be able to open the opposite arm. Can you sit forwards? Smile. Come all the way back through center. We'll change hands. So band in the left hand, and we'll bring the leg across the body. So again, some of you might need to bend your knee. Some of us might be able to straighten the leg, and some of you might be able to come into that little twist. So you twist to the right as you take the leg across the body. I can feel a real stretch down the outer thigh. Keep lifting the chest, keep breathing. Keep smiling and thinking what a delicious stretch this is. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Bring the foot down. No more band fun, so we can pop the band to one side. Lovely. Let's have a cheeky boat pose before we finish. So feet to the floor, holding on around the back of the legs. And again, you might need to lean back a little bit as you slide the toes in towards you. And seeing if you can maybe lift the shins. Oh, I'm all wibbly wobbly this morning. Lovely. See if you can lift up through the chest. Some of you might want to release the arms with the palms up. Some of you might want to even straighten the legs. Oh, smiling. Breathing. Can we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful boats. And 1. Bring the feet to the floor. Hands cup the knees and round your back. So straighten your arms, chin to chest. Oh my goodness gracious me. And then slowly, slowly, we'll sit up nice and tall. Extend the legs, roll your way down onto your back and bring both arms all the way back behind the head. Back into that delicious full body stretch. And can you reach even further back than you did at the beginning? Have you stretched and opened up some space this morning? I hope so. Lovely. Now I'm just going to soften my elbows just so I can rest one hand on top of the other. But if that doesn't work for you, feel free just to bring the arms out level with the shoulders. And walk your heels back in towards you, keeping your ankles and your knees together. And then we'll allow the knees to flop apart, soles of the feet together. Now my hips feel quite open, so my heels are quite close in towards my bottom. If your hips feel a little stiff today, you can slide your feet a little bit further away from you. And just close the eyes in that lovely reclined goddess pose, trying to find a balance across the lower back. No sense of forcing the knees apart, just allowing gravity to do the work for you. Easy with the breath. Lovely benign stretch for the hips. It's not to say some of us might feel it stronger than others. Lovely. And then if you've got both arms above your head, one resting on top of the other as I have, let's separate the arms out level with the shoulders now. And then close your left knee to meet your right knee. So we're coming into a little twist. Both knees are over towards the right. Take a moment to get comfortable, dropping the weight into that left shoulder. You can bring your knees up towards your chest a little bit more if your spine feels comfortable this morning. Just bringing that rotation higher up your spine there. Some of you might want to allow your chin to drop down towards your left shoulder. Lovely. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Bring both feet back to the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. And then allowing the knees to widen, the soles of the feet to gently rest against each other. Back into that balanced pose of reclined goddess or butterfly. A little bit of symmetry before we do that twist over to the left. So heart open, hips open, easy with the breath. And then this time, we'll bring right knee to close over to your left knee. So taking a moment again to adjust the position of your knees. You can scoot them up towards your chest. You can slide them a little further away from you. You can let your chin drop down towards right shoulder there. If it's too much to have your knees and your ankles stacked on top of each other, just separate them a little bit. Just slide the knees apart. So all of those little adjustments we can make. None of our bodies are going to fit one yoga template. We'll need to make those little adjustments to accommodate issues or injuries or tight spots we might have. Lovely. And then slowly, head comes to center. We'll bring the feet to the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Now lots of options. You can slowly bring the arms just down alongside you. Palms up towards the ceiling, stretching one leg out and stretching the opposite leg out. Maybe a little roll of the feet in and out a few times, and then allow your toes to roll open. So again, there's a gentle opening through the hips. Or we keep our feet on the floor, the knees pointed up towards the ceiling. Maybe taking your feet a little bit wider apart so your knees can gently sway together, propping each other up. And that might offer a little bit more support for your lower back. Let's take a moment there to make ourselves nice and comfortable in whatever position you've chosen, just to rest for a few moments. Breathe. Breathe and exist in this moment. Concentrate on the air entering and leaving your lungs. Ribbons of life rising and falling. A cycle that lifts your being out of your head and lets you float towards the peace and calm that cushions your body. Close your eyes and sink into the floor beneath you. Let the weight of your world fall from every muscle, every limb, every bone. Allow worries to drop away from your frame and vanish. Clear your mind of clutter. Create space where nothing exists but calm. And fill the darkness with a glow that slowly warms and grows inside until all of you feels happy and relaxed. You are light, and light shines within you. Peace. Perfect peace. And knowing that you can stay here for as long as you need this morning. You'll get ready to join the rest of the day. Hopefully feeling a little bit more balanced, a little bit more stretched, ready to greet the amazing, the ordinary, the awful, whatever life has in store for us for the rest of the week. Hopefully with, again, that sense of equanimity and balance. Let's begin to deepen and lengthen the breath now. Maybe bring a little bit of movement into your fingers, your feet, maybe taking a little roll across the back of your head. And then for one last time, let's find that lovely space in a full body stretch, reaching the arms back above the head, extending the legs if you've not done so. Breathe into that space, the space behind you, the space in front of you, the space above you. Beautiful. And then as you lower your arms, carefully bring your heels back in towards you, and then your knees in towards your chest. You might want to move, circle, or rock, or simply linger in stillness there for a moment, whatever feels intuitive and natural. And then wherever there's space in the room that you're in, roll to one side, the right or the left. And then come and join me in a comfortable seated position. Never has to be cross-legged in yoga. Stretch the legs out, do whatever feels nice. Let's lift up out of the hips, softening the shoulders, softening the face, allowing the chin to drop very gently down towards your chest. As we bring our hands into that final mudra, that final gesture, the thumbs just nestled in towards your breastbone. Let's just remind ourselves that life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing and the awful, it's ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing, hold on through the awful, and relax and exhale during the ordinary. That's just living. Heartbreaking, soul healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life. And it's breathtakingly beautiful. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so even though we didn't get up to stand, I still feel like I've had a good old stretch this morning. So I hope you guys have as well.